So you've picked out your favorite pumpkin and you're getting ready for the spooky season, but you still don't have a traditional carving to decorate your porch. That's where I come in. Last week, we went to Kensington Market and picked out the best pumpkin we could find, and now we're gonna carve it in High Park. Things are about to get messy in part 2 of our 3-part XO Halloween special. The first thing you want to start with is a serrated knife. That's going to make it easier to cut through the flesh of the pumpkin. And first things first is we have to get the top off. When you're cutting the top off, you want to remember to angle your cuts a little bit so that when you stick a candle in later and you need to put the top back on, it doesn't slide back into the pumpkin and snuff out your candle. So now that we have our lid, we do want to cut the stringy goopy bits off. Also to protect the candle that will eventually go into our jack-o'-lantern. Now we clean out all of the goop inside of the pumpkin. Now none of this stuff you actually use if you want to do any baking with your pumpkin, except for the seeds. Sometimes it's better just with your hands, which I'm gonna do. Nothing beats bare hands sometimes. There's so much. Once you get enough seeds, you'll probably want to have somewhere to keep them. All right. Good enough for me. If you are carving your pumpkin on a date, this is a great opportunity to shoot your seed all over that person. Boom. This is the stuff you want to use for baking, the actual flesh of the pumpkin. It's pretty hard to carve out, but if you're going to be baking with a pumpkin, you don't really have to keep it in its pumpkin shape. So if, like us, you are planning on using every part of the pumpkin, then you want to bring a good Tupperware container with you to the park to store the flesh, but not the guts. And a lid too. Here's where the real fun begins. Carving the pattern. Man, this is coming out great. When you've finished carving out the preliminary outline of your design, then you can go in and clean it up a little bit, get rid of the raggedy edges and make sure that you don't get a tunneling effect where it looks like the design is getting sucked back into the jack-o'-lantern. And we are done. And if you want to be really smart, like us, we drew our design on with dry erase marker so that when we're finished, if there were any lines left over, we can just rub them right off and no one will ever know the difference, except for you. The perfect jack-o'-lantern. Now that we have our perfect jack-o'-lantern, we're ready for our final step, which is to make some tasty, tasty vittles out of the star ingredient, which is pumpkin. That'll be next week. There are plenty of other things to do in High Park besides carve a pumpkin. Please check out this link for more date ideas from XO Toronto. Until then, come again, and I'll see you soon.